Okay, everybody. So it's been a fun couple of weeks, right? Uh, Pretty much the whole community was in open rebellion, and all sorts of things got bandied about. What like the Paizo orc license thing? I don't know what's happening with that now, but apparently WotC has given in, thrown in the towel, said, "You guys got me. All right, fine. We won't do stuff, right?" Uh, but does that mean that the fight is over, right? I don't think it does, right? Because they're an evil corporation, right? Yeah. Rather, I'll just say that they're doing what corporations do, and I could rant about what's really going on there. Um, but you can find other stuff for that, right? Maybe I'll rant about it just because I have some insight into corporate goings on. But one of the things I think that WotC is likely to do now that they've sort of thrown in the towel and said, okay, we're not going to change the open gaming license, right? Okay, you win, right? They're not giving up. You all know they're not giving up, right? They're going to monetize D&D, or they're going to try to increase monetization of D&D, we'll say, whether you like it or not, right? So here's three things that they're very likely to do in no particular order. One of the things you're likely to see them do, and they're going to do all this stuff far more low key, but they're going to start increasing their control over who is allowed to license and use their material. And the places that sort of most stand out to me was things like Roll20 and Foundry, right? Where right now there's a lot of compatibility options and you can bring up a lot of information there. They might start to crack down on saying, you're using our product as a service in a way that it wasn't meant to do, and you're integrating this online thing, and we don't like that. And it's not that they'll have a major case, but they'll start sort of pushing on them. And unless Roll20 and Foundry want to get into a legal dispute, they might just say, okay, well, we're not going to make it integratable, or we're not going to integrate these new features, right? Or at least it's going to stop with 5th edition, right? So the new stuff is not going to be as accessible through other sites. Right? Second is they're going to probably sort of constrain who is allowed to publish D&D stuff or D&D compatible stuff in terms of where you can publish it, right? Like one of the things they can do with 1D&D is say, okay, if you want to sell stuff, we'll let you make stuff for 1D&D, but you have to make it on our controlled marketplace. Let's say like DM's Guild. If you want it to be integratable into what everybody's playing, through the WotC D&D apps, right, that they're likely to make, right, like D&D Beyond. If you wanted to integrate it to D&D Beyond, you have to sell it and create it for D&D Beyond, right? Otherwise, it'll never be integrated and will never allow you access to our controlled marketplace, right? And so they're going to limit the way people are allowed to sell. Well, not allowed to sell, but if you want access to their market and the D&D controlled sites, you will have to publish there, right? Like that's the only way it's ever going to integrate. Right? Otherwise, people can still use it, right? But it won't be a part of their site ever. Right? Which kind of leads me to like the third thing, right? Which is they're going to revise the conditions under which you can use these marketplaces, right? And the very simplest term is they're going to take a bigger cut, and they will probably have a lot more. Well, along with what I said, you have to sell with us, and then if you sell on our site, there will be a terms and conditions that will say you can exclusively only sell on our site, right? Which means if you sell it with us, not only do we have rights to use it and get a claim on it, you can't sell it anywhere else, right? You agree that by selling it here, you agree that you won't sell it anywhere else, right? And we're going to take a bigger cut, blah, blah. And these are the things that they're going to do kind of subtly, because they can just sort of change the terms of agreements without something as big as the OGL, right? Just kind of standard operating procedure for sort of corporations is just finding ways to sort of, unfortunately, monetize things that were already, they say D&D is under monetized, whatever that means, right? It's still like $1 billion product. So it's like, how much money do you want? It's more about new executives trying to make mark for themselves and trying to get a good sort of boost to it. Like, you want good earnings reports and quarterly reports because that boosts your stock value, right? Which is what you're paid in. And I could go off on that. It's another topic, but this is what new executives do, right? They come in and they're like, stand back and be amazed. I'm going to make this awesome, right? And then they just screw it all up. And then they get promoted to another position at another company because they're all buddies. But that's a rant for another time. For now, what you can expect is that WotC is going to take a far less dramatic in-your-face approach, like changing the OGL, and just sort of just changing sort of tweaks here and there to the sort of agreements and conditions under which you already they're existing sort of realms of control, right? So you'll see, who knows if the other things are dead now with this announcement. I suspect that it might be. They'll still have some momentum. But you'll see WotC is still going to come out and annoy people. They're not done. So that's just my little take on it. Hope you enjoy that. Let's see what happens. It's been super fun, hasn't it? I've just been watching, just like, this is nuts. So many videos on it, people complaining. It's hard not to. It's fun stuff, though. Yay. So one last thing, leave in the comments if you think, whatever you think, what do you think that they'll do? It'd be interesting to see what people think. Just pop down in the comments what you think that WotC is going to do, and we can all look at the thread and see if we're right.